Hello, it's Beth. I wanted to talk with you briefly about some options for concentration. If you wanted to look up the tradition, if you have a copy of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, Patanjali does talk about um, obstacles, the accompaniments to obstacles, and then how it's important to develop concentration as a way to overcome the obstacles. So that's in book one, I think numbers 30 to 32 or 33. And so what I'm talking about today comes from there. So if you're experiencing stress, distress, thoughts that run away with you, um, unpleasant thoughts that arise at bad times, like when you're trying to go to sleep or when you'd really rather be hanging out with the family, not worrying. Um, Developing your concentration is going to be one of the most useful, helpful kind of tools you can have in your toolbox. It's like developing a muscle, and just like any muscle, we have to give it some practice, some exercise in order for you to be able to use it at will. So while you're in the beginning of the process of learning to concentrate, you want to try to do concentration exercises for short amounts of time, over time, repeatedly, consistently, and every single day. Okay. Once a day is probably not gonna do a whole lot. I mean, you would eventually get there, but let me put it this way: 30 seconds several times a day, much better than 30 minutes once a week or 30 minutes once a day, even. I would say having vigilance and consistency is going to be your best bet. So, what are the techniques? The first technique would be breath work. Breath work can be becoming aware of the sensations of the breath, how it feels when it's coming in and going out. It can be awareness of what the breath is doing, so thinking in or thinking out. I would say just choose one. And generally, just becoming aware of where the breath goes in the body. So those are some different ways you can think about the breath or work with the breath. So if you're one of my students, you're familiar with this already, and you know that if you notice that you are holding the breath, you can take 30 seconds right there to just stop whatever you're doing, take a few deep breaths, and then really become the observer of the breath. And then try to remain the observer of the breath as you go about your daily tasks, right? While you're washing the dishes, while you're standing in line at the grocery store. And actually, any of these techniques can be used throughout the day in this way. So, besides the breath, another option would be to use mantras. Mantras, mantras is just a word that means using one or a few words that bring you joy. And what you do is you repeat these words to yourself. So rather than allowing the thoughts in the mind to just run around and say whatever they want, you have something you cause the mind to say for you. And it should be something uplifting. So a lot of people, a lot of traditions around the world use the word peace this way. Or you can choose a short scripture, a little section from a poem you always liked. Really, you could use any word that was uplifting and meaningful to you. So then when you noticed you were holding the breath or stress was coming up for you, you would simply stop, take a couple of deep breaths, and then begin to repeat the word to yourself. So peace, 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 peace. And just continue like that for a while, right? 30 seconds to 2 minutes, right? So we've got breath work or a mantra, or you can focus on lights. So this can be lights that you see around you. I know people who use candles, and they'll light a candle and just gaze at the candle for a little while, like the top of the flame. I know people who use the light on the computer because it's not very bright. If you have a bright light, don't stare at it. Recently, someone told me that they intuitively picked up this practice with Christmas lights. You know who you are. That's awesome. And so that would be another option. So those are some good ways to start. The big thing, pick one thing and stick with it. Don't pick one thing and then now I think I'll try this other one, because that's one of the things the mind wants to do to avoid deepening your ability with concentration. Okay. So if it's about clothes, yeah, try on new clothes, try changing your style. That's great. If you want to try different foods, that's great, very helpful, right? But for concentration, it doesn't matter where you are in the world or what tradition, what religion you have. All of these techniques can be found in your own tradition. And so you should be able to bring it to whatever you do. Okay. And so with that, I'll bid you adieu and have some fun with it. Talk to you soon. Bye.